Let's look at the notation for our final bass drum pattern, drum beat 3A. Compared to our last example with the bass drums on beat 3 and the and of beat 3, these two bass drums have been moved backwards 1/8 note onto the and of beat 2 and on beat 3. This slight difference in position of the two bass drums makes a big difference in the sound of the drum groove. The two bass drums now lead into beat 3, giving it a really solid and grounded feel. The downbeat is being pushed into rather than the backbeat on beat 4 in the previous example. Let's have a listen to what the drum beat sounds like. So for this pattern we have 8th notes being played on the hi-hat, we have snare drum on beats 2 and 4, and the new bass drum pattern, bass drum on beat 1, bass drum on the and of beat 2, and bass drum on beat 3. So compared to our last example where we had the bass drum on beat 3, the and of beat 3, followed directly afterwards by a snare drum on beat 4, we now have the snare drum on beat 2 followed by the two bass drums, and then a hi-hat on its own, then the snare drum. So what I find with a lot of pupils when they're practicing this example is that they tend to play the snare drum straight after the second bass drum on beat 3, when they should be playing another hi-hat on its own on the and of beat 3 and then the snare drum. So just be aware of that when you practice. So let me play the whole thing for you very, very slowly while counting out loud. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Again, what people tend to do when they play this drum beat is play the snare drum straight after the second bass drum. They play something like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and they put the snare drum on the and of 3 because they're so used to playing in the previous example bass drum on 3, then the and, then the snare drum. Be aware that this example we have a hi-hat played on its own on the and of beat 3, then the snare drum with the hi-hat on beat 4. So just be aware of that when you're practicing. I'm sure it won't be a problem for you.